What's happening, collectors? Welcome to Riggy's Basement, and today in the basement, we are taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Direct Page Punchers Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow action figure. Have you figured out that we like Superman in the basement yet? Yes, I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of these. These are very tough to come by as far as I've heard through circles and things. So I am extremely happy that I was able to get my hands through Amazon on this one. So super excited. Do not have a Supergirl in the collection, and that's saying a lot. Especially seeing as my daughter is named after this character, for Pete's sake. So I got too many boy toys. I need some girl toys in the collection. So here we go. This is a quick look at the packaging. Now, this is a throwback. I love this. It's blister packaging. Yay! Bubble, whatever. It's all sealed in one giant clamshell of plastic, and somehow you got to open this crap up. I love it. But what I really love, actually, about the Page Punchers from McFarlane Toys, and it says so right there, includes a comic book. Now, this is the thing. Like, you would think that this would be happening with all sorts of action figures that are based on comic book characters, especially if, as you can see from looking at some of the accessories and stuff, it is a specific comic book character that you are referencing in said action figure. So, I wish it came with a crypto. I need a crypto. So I'm super excited that, like, this is the gateway right here. Hey, action figure and the source material. Isn't that cool? So, I mean, Page Punchers are great. I believe with this wave that's coming out that has 2 JSA characters in the Kingdom Come Superman, each character comes with a specific comic book. I believe the other Page Puncher sets that came out, it was just, here's a comic book that we've written and drawn for this set, but however many figures are in the wave, you all get one comic book. You might have different covers. That's about it. So the fact that they're actually bringing out like actual issues of DC Comics is very cool, and they need to really start doing this more often, to be quite honest. And with the 7 inches, not just with those like little tiny double packs of 3 3/4 figures. Come on, put your heads. All right, so quick look at everything right here. So yes, there's the comic book, there's the action figure. See some of the accessories. Now, again, it is blister packaging. So here we go with old Yeller. I think if we're just safe, and we try to cut around the comic book. Hold on. I think I may have found a cheat. Did I find a cheat? I think I found a cheat. Oh, don't cut the comic book. This is way too dangerous. I'm also afraid that I'm going to cut my finger and cause a severe loss of blood. This plastic, because it's sharp, it's adamantium, for Pete's sake. Alright, hold on. I think we're almost there. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's see what we can do with that. Alright. Yay, the comic book. It's all in one piece. Oops. Sorry, boys. Alright, let's get that out of there, and let's... Don't forget. Oh, isn't that nice? McFarlane put it all together like that. Isn't that lovely? And he was nice enough to still give us, don't take the camera out, we get our good old-fashioned DC Multiverse flat-ass figure stand. And also, which is actually kind of cool. I want to see if I can get this. Aha. Okay. This whole thing is a separate piece as well, although it doesn't really want to come out unless you cut it a particular way. Come on. see, there's the outside. We had the stand, and as always, we have a card. So thankfully, the card can go to a particular human being who's named after this character, and I can keep the comic book. And there we go. Real name Kara Zor-El. An alien girl seeks out a melancholy, directionless Kara Zor-El to help her take revenge on the bad guys who destroyed her world. Now a Kryptonian, a dog, and an angry, heartbroken child head into space on a journey that will shake them to their very core. If that's the synopsis for that comic book over there, that actually sounds pretty freaking good. Right on. Alright, and now we have our Supergirl. So let's get her out of the rest of this packaging. Again, I do not know the context for the sword. I believe she's still Kryptonian, so why she has a sword I don't know. But I also own a Barbarian Superman, so really I should keep my mouth shut. We'll take a look at that in a second. And thankfully you get what I consider to be the quintessential superhero action figure accessory. Every superhero action figure should come with those. A pair of fists. Especially if you are a Kryptonian, you got to be punching things. We'll take a quick better look at that in a second. Because right now, we have got to cut young Kara Zor-El free. So let's get her out of there. Thankfully, it was just the one. Yeah, it was just the one. Okay, let's get that. Oh, come on. This for the cape. I hate that. Right. Out the bloody way. Let's open this. Oh, ho, 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 boys and girls. We are super impressed right off the bat. Going to first make an admission. I do not own any of the McFarlane Toys female characters yet. This is the second one, except for the death metal Wonder Woman. And I freaking love this thing. This thing is super cool. Get a good look at that chest emblem right off the bat. That head sculpt is really, really amazing. I am super impressed with that. The wash on the hair. That is just spot diddly on, honestly. Really do like the look. Again, it is like almost super accurate to the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now that you can actually take a look at them beside each other. Okay, it's missing like the gold on the toes, it looks like. And it's missing crypto. But honestly, dead on. Maybe the symbol's a little bit different. It looks like that's a bit more of a stylized S, whereas that's the more traditional S. Who knows? I don't. Who cares? We're happy. We got Supergirl. Best thing about it, I really love the fact that McFarlane Toys has switched over to 90% of the time you are getting a cloth wired cape. And the cool thing about this one, as with the other Supermen that we've looked at here in the basement, this one has the wire through the base as well. So not only are you getting the wire here and here, you're getting that wire across the bottom as well. So again, that just makes the dynamic pose into that so much better. I'm not sure what this material is, but I think it might be different than the other Supermen that have come out with this. Well, it's definitely different than the weird sateen cape that they put on the Adam West Batman. Either way, I like it. So out of the gate, we got that. We got the skirt. Okay, so quickly we will take a look at accessories. Out the gate, she's got one karate chop flying hand as packaged. And in the other hand, of course, we have gripping hand for the sword. Again, I have no context for the comic book. So we're all going to have to read it and find out what the heck's going on with that. That's fantastic. One more time, we will take a look at this. This is the sword that came packaged with it. I believe this is just molded silver plastic. I don't believe there's any paint job here, but the detail's pretty sweet. I mean, that hilt looks fantastic. The handle as well. I am quite impressed. Don't know if it's going to stay with Supergirl. It'll probably go with maybe another DC Multiverse character, seeing as that's the scale. But still, super happy. And get that out of the way. As I mentioned, also the quintessential superhero action figure accessory. If I can do this without dropping them, you'll get the fists, which are always good to have. Because again, people of the super persuasion should be punching things. That's how we solve problems, right? Punch it. That's what we always used to say in my neighborhood. So quickly we'll go into our articulation. We'll get into the head here. Now, as you can see, the hair does a lot to hinder movement. So it is kind of hard. There's like little to no tilt depending on which way you go. You got a little bit of the roundabout. You can turn both, definitely way more this way than that way. And that's about as far as you're looking up, boys and girls. Now, as it comes to the diaphragm, however, we've got what looks like a ball joint at the waist and the independent ball joint up in the chest. However, that's a little bit not quite independent. Yeah, it wants to take the ab bit with it. But if you look at that, you can kind of compensate for the head back with how much back you get. So that's pretty cool. How far forward? Okay, we're definitely not going very far forward either. Yeah, this is a pretty hard plastic bit for a skirt, so that's definitely going to do some hindrance. We got the traditional McFarlane joint arms, the shoulder with that ball joint and the protector right there, which really doesn't do a lot for articulation. Just make sure it doesn't look like a nasty gap. You got, ooh, that is tight. You got double jointed elbows. This part just doesn't quite want to see. Now, I'm afraid because these are a lot more slender arms than the other DC Multiverse figures, so I'm afraid I'm going to break it. But yep, you get the double pinned elbow. You get that ball joint hand. So not only, depending on where you go, can you go this way and that way. Once you spin the hand, you can now go that way and that way. So it's entirely up to you. We get to the hips. Now, we don't have, we got not too much. I mean, you're pushing there. That skirt doesn't want to give you a lot of give, but that's what you got going out to the Van Damme. She's not quite a Van Damme. We're getting close. We're getting close. Not a lot going forward. A little bit going back. Nah. You get your double jointed knee. So definitely can kick your own butt. And we get that roller ball of an ankle, which allows you to turn that way. Let's go up and down with a little bit. No, not quite a lot of rotation. And then, of course, you have, oh, that's tight. Some joints are extremely tight and some joints are going to feel like a little weak and loose. So just be careful with that when you're posing. But yep, you get your toe articulation as well. So that is pretty boss. Let's see if we can get her set up in vanilla for at least a minute. Trying to get that cape to go down a little bit. Feet aren't exactly wanting to cooperate, but hey, sometimes feet don't want to cooperate, right? Get those tabs out of the way. We'll get that over here beside the card and stuff. Throw that over there. So there you go. And quickly, just because, again, one of my favorite features about the page punchers is to get that comic book. Take a quick look here. Oh, okay. So this is definitely a push for the new All-In initiative that was coming around this past November 2024. Absolute Superman. Definitely pick it up if you're not reading it and you read comic books. Read Absolute Superman. It's bloody fantastic. But yeah, looks like we got issue number 1 of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We will come back and we will definitely review this at a point, but right now we will definitely give props to the creators. Always gotta give props to the creators. But yeah, you get the full-on comic book. This is fantastic. I am really happy. Hopefully, if I can get my hands... There's a pose that needs to be framed. That definitely needs to be framed. But yes, if it comes around that we get the Kingdom Come Superman from this wave and everything, we will try to do all of the comic books as well. Maybe we'll do a separate video where I review the comic books as well. Try to get into each series, seeing as that's what we're getting. Pretty friggin' mint. Definitely happy about that. So yeah, get a kid addicted to comics. Gateway to drug to literacy. It's fantastic. Literacy is important. So real quickly, we'll do some comparisons here. It would not be a proper comparison if we did not compare her to the DC Multiverse Superboy that's previously come out not too long ago. Let's get him so that he's standing proper. Actually, I'll move him over here, because then that way, to flank young Kara Zor-El, we'll also bring in the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez Superman DC Silver Age. And that, honestly, oh yeah, baby, that's going to look fantastic in the collection. That is going to be sweet. Very happy how that looks. The Super Family, it's coming along fantastic. And let's also compare Supergirl to a NECA 80s cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo. Just because we love Ninja Turtles almost as much as we love Superman. Definitely, again, another cross. Can we do the Super Family and TMNT? It's not that hard, people. This stuff, the money prints itself. Come on, listen to me here. I'm handing you money. Real quickly, we'll also put her next to the Spin Masters God of War Ragnarok Kratos. They are pretty darn close to scale. Almost. See, again, I would honestly say, as you just saw with the two other ones, she's a little bit smaller than I would want her to be into scale with the other McFarlane figures. I think she should be a little bit taller, but again, that's just me. I mean, from what I've seen in reviews of the DC Multiverse Power Girl that just came out, she's a midget compared to that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but maybe she should be a little bit bigger. And of course, last but not least, there she is next to a horse. So there you go. That is the McFarlane Toys DC Direct Page Punchers Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow action figure. I definitely, if this is the best Supergirl they've brought out, I know they've only brought out a couple, but definitely this would be the perfect one to pick up. Again, if you're a Superman fan, if you got somebody who's a Supergirl fan, this is it. Dead on. Can't look any further. You're happy. You're good. You got a wired cloth cape. Look at that. How would you not be happy with that? I'm happy with it. I'm super happy with it. Definitely worth it. So, yep, if you find it out in the wild, if you're lucky enough to find it on Amazon for not a ridiculous price, I would definitely say grab it, because that's what I did. So, again, thanks for joining us in the basement. And as always, happy hunting.